Daybreak marks the opening of a new chapter in modern civilization. Sleepy towns rouse from slumber. Cities blink awake to the rapid rhythm of change and progression. When activity starts, we lose ourselves to the drone of life and forget what it is like to live. A gentle nudge towards the simple pleasures of art and spirituality is all we may need to pause, ponder if we must, and rejuvenate. At times, this is only a fleeting moment, slipping away before we know it. So it seems only appropriate that in this era of haste, we keep pace and count significant moments with the timely arrival of a revolutionary horological machine. To refer to this timekeeping machine merely as a watch is to lose sight of the vision, sentiment, and dedication to its being. A breakthrough in microengineering, it is a three-dimensional timepiece of radical design and completely original movement. 376 parts and 81 jewels, communicating in perfect spatial and temporal harmony. A sculpted science, a handcrafted process so delicate only 30 watches are produced every year. Horology is the science of timekeeping. A horological machine consists of fixed and moving parts which modify energy and transmit it to tell time. For creator Maximilian Buser, any other name for his inspiration would fail to convey its function, so he settled on a simple yet powerful name, Horological Machine 1, or HM1.
I was inspired by André Putman, the famous designer and interior architect, who created a perfume a couple of years ago, and she just called it, instead of calling it Angel Mania, I mean all these amazing marketing names, she just called it Préparation Parfumée, which means perfumed preparation. And I was struck by that a year ago when I discovered it. I thought, well, instead of finding some quirky marketing name to our products, let's call it Horological Machine. That's what it is.
The anatomy of HM1 is a poetic fusion of architecture. Two overlapping faces, one for hours, the other for minutes, and in between, a central 1-minute tourbillon, elevated to create its own center stage. While most 60-second tourbillons are set inside the movement, HM1's elevated piece enables its wearer to see clearly into the heart of the timepiece, oscillating with absolute precision. 4 mainspring barrels, 2 in serial on either side of the movement, are powered evenly by a sophisticated gear train. The alignment of these barrels is a first of its kind. Wound manually, the lungs of this impressive timepiece breathe life into the gears, enabling HM1 to maintain 7 days of reserve power. HM1's design is a tribute to the past and an influence on the future. The solid 18-karat rose gold case and multiple strata dial place it both in a vintage era as well as a science fiction movie. To create a timekeeping force of such great magnitude, Max Buser reached into his child's perspective and embraced the irrational. Maximilian's concept was quite literally derived with his head in the clouds.
It all started in a plane coming back from Singapore 3 years ago. I was trying to avoid jet lag and I couldn't sleep till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. And I was doodling watches as I often do. And at some point I came up with this concept of 2 worlds coming together. And I thought, that's an amazing concept. We can really do something with that. It is something completely amazing. It's a world premiere in horological technology. And I think it will amaze and shock many people in the watch world.
Having conceived his prototype 2 years ago while departing from Singapore, Max Buser is now back here to launch Horological Machine 1. The journey towards realizing this dream has been nothing short of an adventure, for which he carefully selected a dedicated team for the ride. Thus grew the foundations for Maximilian Buser and Friends, a company which the former managing director of Harry Winston Rare Timepieces left to start up.
I sort of created an ideal company which had to have three factors. The first one, it has to be hyper creative. That's where I really enjoy working, creating incredible new products. The second, it had to be very small, not being burdened by all the administrative, all the problems of having a large team.
The inspiration does not stop here. MB&F has plans to assemble a different team each year to work on a new visionary timepiece. Every new piece carries its own unique DNA and will be different from the rest.
The group changes with each project. That's the whole idea. In French, there's a word which is called un collectif. It's very difficult to translate in English. A collective doesn't mean the same thing. It's used when artists, independent artists, come together to create one artistic event and then they leave. And that's the whole idea of MB&F. I've got 4 products in the pipeline, and that means there are 4 collectifs which have been assembled on different projects.
A different guild of watchmakers for every new machine in the horological series. A concept built on the spirit of independence. Such is the magic of Maximilian Buser and Friends Horological Machine 1.